Arrowhead Springs, the legendary hot and cold springs located in the San Bernardino Mountains. There, pointing to the springs, is an enormous natural arrowhead emblazoned in the mountainside. According to Native American legend, it points to the healing waters of Arrowhead Springs. During the mid-19th century, Dr. David Noble Smith claimed that he was guided by an apparition to the land marked by a giant arrowhead. The water cycle that gives birth to these unique springs begins as rain and snowmelt from the clouds. The water percolates deep within the earth through porous rock, collecting precious minerals and trace elements on its journey to the earth's surface. Arrowhead Bottled Water collects the best of these springs for its renowned bottled water products. In 1885, the first hotel opened to accommodate travelers who came to Arrowhead Springs to heal and rejuvenate. The Arrowhead Springs Resort became the playground for the rich and famous in the early 1900s. Hollywood stars and captains of industry would relax in this healthful oasis just 60 miles from Los Angeles. Hot springs, steam rooms, and a myriad of treatments using the waters of Arrowhead provided visitors with a sense of well-being, a healthful reprise from the challenges of daily living. Arrowhead Mountain Spring water gets its origins from the legendary Arrowhead Springs sequestered in the San Bernardino Mountains. The various springs are captured through tunnels and piped to a collection station below the resort. A complex stainless steel pipe snakes down the mountain from over a mile high to the point where Arrowhead tanker trucks transport the natural spring water to bottling plants in Ontario and Cabazon. At spring source number 2, a tunnel behind a protected entrance ensures purity to the water. What type of source this is? What kind of rock?
This is a fractured granite source. So the water's coming out of fractured granite and essentially comes through this mountain behind us.
And what kind of flow?
This one's right now is probably about 20 gallons per minute.
Springs are like a fingerprint. No two are identical. What minerals are in this one?
Calcium, bicarbonate. Bicarbonate is the primary mineral in this water. All of Southern California, you see high bicarbonate levels. And so if you think about it, back in the day when, like when the Dr. David Noble Smith developed this site and he was selling it as water that makes you, feel better, and before the days of Alka-Seltzer, and drinking water with bicarbonate in it actually may have made you feel better. So it's an interesting source of water that here we have a bicarbonate level of maybe 80. In Cabazon, maybe 150. So it changes all through the mountains.
In the early days, the spring water was brought to the Arrowhead bottling plants by water trains. Later, the trains were replaced by tanker trucks. In 1932, Arrowhead supplied water to the Olympic Games in Los Angeles and again in Los Angeles at the Games in 1984. Today, the Arrowhead Springs Resort is no longer operational, but it stands as a reminder to the importance of the famous springs at Arrowhead. Fortunately, the great waters are protected and still bottled as Arrowhead 100% mountain spring water. Arrowhead's bottling plant at Ontario, one of several across the state, is fully integrated, beginning with the creation of the PET plastic bottles made from recycled materials. The bottles are created from preforms and then travel along conveyors to the clean room. Water stored in stainless steel tanks flows to the filler in the clean room and is filled to a specific level, constantly monitored and regularly tested for purity at Arrowhead's in-plant laboratory. Then, depending upon the size and packages, it may be shrink-wrapped in plastic or packaged in cardboard cases and placed on pallets for delivery across the western United States. The Nestle Waters Group has leading regional brands throughout the United States. In the U.S., each day we purchase many different packaged beverages.
Packaged beverages. We purchase 1 billion servings of packaged beverages every day. Here's a choice that's natural, it's calorie-free, and to boot has the lightest environmental footprint. of any other packaged beverage.
Right.
Which is a whole nother way that USDA is also looking at the kind of recommendations they're going to make in the next set of dietary guidelines for Americans. So I think we really have to step up and say there's a real role and value of this product in society, that people should be encouraged to drink water in all its forms.